What is going on, good people? Happy Saturday to everybody. Hopefully, everybody had a good start to their weekend. Preseason is officially over. The next time the New York Giants play a game, it will count. And I'm so excited for that. A lot to discuss. The roster prediction show. New York Giants already making moves. We had a trade earlier today. They announced some of the early cuts already, too. So we got a lot to get into tonight. So make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, before we get started, let me know if I'm good. Let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the visual is good. Just give me a thumbs up in the comment section, or just say I'm good in the comment section. What's going on, everybody? I see we already have a full house. Going to do a quick roll call. See what we got going on. My man Tony Benito's like one of the first people all the time. He says we can all tell just by looking at practice and preseason games that Malachi Fields is number 2 wide receiver, and Arvell Reese will be a superstar. I'm not going to argue with that at all. Miguel Franco in the building. What's going on? Says even in Dash chat, Slayton and a first for Gonzalez. Thoughts they've get right. I don't know about that. Giving up a first, I don't know about the first part. If anybody wants Slayton, man, they can have him. But we can see what happens with that, though. It's a little bit early in the conversation for that. We just getting warm. MKM, what's going on? He says, can we agree that it's time to get rid of the white and red numbers, away uniform, and bring back the white and blue numbers with the red trim, but put Giants' name on the uniforms instead of the NY? It's a lot of things that we want as fans. We feel good. We got a new year, something to be excited about. We want a lot of new things, nice things. So I'm not going to argue with that either. Stacy in the building, what's going on? Says, continue blessings, fans. Was good. Should we add Mazi Smith to the D-line squad? No. Mazi Smith ended up being an absolute bust. I know some people out there are thinking about it, and as bad as our situation is, I don't think he adds anything that we need. You saw the Jets cut him. He was traded. The Dallas couldn't wait to get rid of him, and now he's on the market. I don't think we're going to bark up that tree, but we'll see what happens with that. Listen. Tomorrow is cut down day. We don't know what's going to happen when it comes to the waiver wires. The guys that are getting cut right now, just think it's going to be even more talent out there that the New York Giants might want to add. And just think about it. We just added another defensive tackle this morning. We flipped the pick that we got from the Chiefs for Joshua Ezeudu and turned that into CJ Okoye. We're going to talk about that today too. My man Ant in the building. What's going on, Ant? My big brother in the building. What's going on, big bro? Skills is in the building. He said, what's the word, Dash? How you feel about the new DT we picked up? We're going to talk about that. We definitely going to talk about that. My man DeMarco Forbes in the building. What's going on? He says, let me say what I need to say now before the chat gets crazy. Okay, what you got to say? Darius Alexander is not it. Why is Eric Gray still on the team? We found us one in J.C. Davis. Bobby shows flashes, but not consistent. Evan Neal was actually moving bodies. Just a moment. Okay. OKC down in the building. What's going on? Seti in the building. What's up? OKC says, Dash, appreciate your dedication to us New York Giants fans. With the Giants family reunion, you already know what it is, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Wouldn't be a family reunion, Giants family reunion, without you guys tuning in for sure. But you see the topics. We're gonna get into the topics as soon as I get through these roll calls, man. My man Tyrone Hall in the building. What's going on, Tyrone? Gen Xa in the building. What's going on? Deb Ellis, what's going on, Deb? How you doing? Kenneth Perkins in the building. Kevin Wilson in the building. What's going on? Mr. February, how you doing? JV, what's going on? Said Dash, the OG's in the house. Now, you the real OG, JV. You the real OG. New York State of Mind, what's going on? Paul said, Big Dash, we put belt to ass on the Jets. Third string or not, we are better coach. Now, that's 100%. That is absolutely 100%. Don Devine says 2 more weeks, let's get it. Yeah. That's what it's all about, man. They've been getting prepared for the Cowboys this whole time. At the start of training camp, Harbaugh already said that we're getting prepared for the real games. And outside of the Minnesota Vikings game in the preseason, we took care of business with the Dolphins like we should have, and also with the Jets. Even though the Jets put up points first, we took care of business. So I'm happy about that. Luann is in the building. What's going on, Luann? She said Odell will make the cut. We need him now. Yeah. I know you see the topic says OBJ a lock. That's just a discussion point because I know some people that are still a little bit leery on Odell Beckham. I don't know what else you guys need to see outside of maybe Jameis Winston dropping that ball in the bread basket. That's all I got to say about that. Mr. February says, what's good, Dash? Hope all is well. Hopefully all is well with you. Everybody's good on my end. Hopefully everybody's good on your end, and that goes for everybody in the chat too. Hopefully, if you're dealing with something, hopefully things get easier. You know how we do. This is family. Another Giants channel. What's going on? Mazi Smith got released. No, sir, or no, ma'am. I don't know who runs this channel, but no, I'm not in the Mazi Smith debate. It's a reason why the Dallas couldn't get rid of him fast enough, and the Jets experiment lasted what, half a season. I don't know about that, man. I understand that we need more bodies, but I need somebody that at least got some experience in the league that actually did something too, or has shown some upside. For us, it looks like Mazi Smith might be a bust. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, we can turn around and see if Dennis Johnson can say, you know what, go get Mazi Smith, see if I can fix him. Then what I got to do then? I got to shut up, right? But right now, for me, if you're asking me now, not no to the Mazi Smith thing. We do need some defensive line help. Again, let's wait till tomorrow. We'll wait till the cut down, and we'll see what happens on the waiver wire. Vaporizer, what's going on? Said, yo, what's good, Dad? Appreciate everybody. Thank you for letting me know that I'm good. Okay, we're going to get started. Mark Thompson in the building as well. Mellow Trades, what's going on? Pure Eye in the building. King Devin in the building. What's going on? David Daniels, thank you very much for letting me know that I'm good. Okay, let's get into this. Before we get into the talking points, though, man, did I say 2027? That's my mistake. Thank you for catching that. 2028 7-round pick that we got from the Kansas City Chiefs for Joshua Zuda. We flipped that and picked up CJ Okoye. And actually, you know what? I'll start there. I'll start there. Thank you very much. I see the Yerbs in the building. What's going on? The Bully in the building. Shout out to everybody in the building already. Mr. Yellow Hat already dropping jewels for the people. Thank you very much for the love and support. Prentice also in the building. Okay. All right. Hold on. Shout out to Brandon with the $1.99 super chat. Says drop Slayton, Berrios, and Hyde. Keep Gibson. Waiver 1. That's saying a lot, man. Because you already know Hyde's not making the team. Hyde's not making the team right now. I know the discussion is hot when it comes to Slayton. There's trade rumors. There's cutting rumors, waiver rumors for Slayton. I don't think you can do that right now, to be honest. Unless you know there's somebody out there that you can, grab real quick. Pause. But Berrios, I think, makes the team just because of special teams value. But Hyde is gone, man. I know a lot of people are excited about Gibson. He had the touchdown yesterday. Also, not too bad as a returner too. But we've seen that before. Man. Let's not forget Berrios is an all-pro special teamer, man. Adds that type of value, that type of security. I like what Gibson did too, but it might have been too late, too little, too late, in my opinion. Seti says Alexander played like a crumb bum. Listen, man, hold on. Be easy. Be easy. Arvell Reese, BBC. Oh, come on, man. BBC Arvell Reese is crazy. That is downright crazy. But he says gotta keep Trace Ford. The funny thing about Trace Ford is Trace Ford did the same exact thing last year. In the third preseason game, he went crazy. And a lot of people felt like, yeah, we got to keep him. Ended up going to the practice squad and showed some value. He did the same exact thing yesterday, and a lot of people are doing the same thing. Got to keep Trace Ford. Zaire Barnes made a play too. Got an interception. And then you saw what Muasau did on the kick coverage. Stout kicked that ball punted the ball 81 yards, and he could not keep the ball from going into the end zone. And he was right there, got a hand on it, couldn't do it. And that pissed me off a lot. But Zaire Barnes made a play yesterday. So I'm going to put up my roster prediction. We're going to have a discussion about that. But let me talk about CJ Okoye first. So got the news this morning. CJ Okoye, Giants picked him up. 6'6", 6'7", 365 to 370 pounds. I don't know if the 5 pounds matters. I don't know if the 6'6" versus 6'7" matters, but we know he's in the range of 6'6", 6'7", 365 to 370 pound. The man is a Bigfoot. He is a walking, talking, NFL playing Bigfoot. Now, he is absolutely still raw, still developing, part of the International Players Program, part of O.C. Umenyiора's camp that he has in Africa. Nigerian athlete, played more recently with the Baltimore Ravens. So John Harbaugh knows him. Before that, he was with Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers. So the Harbaughs have an idea what this kid can be. And when you look at what happened after we picked him up, then you know exactly, what it is after that. So actually, while we're talking about that, And I see a lot of people talking about Trace Ford. We can get back to Trace Ford. I do want to pull up the early cuts. So we do have some early cuts. We got some early cuts. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way so you guys aren't confused. So this is from Dan Duggan. Shout out to Dan Duggan from The Athletic. Early cuts that the Giants announced. Running back Damon Bankston gone. Isaiah Hodgins, who is a fan favorite, gone. Kobe Prentice got a cup of coffee with the New York Giants, now gone. The tight end that came in, Kobe Prentice, obviously was gone too. I just think we needed a body for Friday night's game. Brendan James or Himes, however you pronounce his name, was a guy that they valued at center, gone. Now, this was a surprise to me because originally I had Leki Fotu by default making the team. I had Leki Fotu making the team out of default because we just thin when it comes to defensive tackle. As soon as we sign CJ Okoye, you see the move, and Leki Fotu is gone. No longer a part of the Giants. I'm not going to hit him with the hey, because, I want to be respectful. Anthony Orji, linebacker, got cut as well. And then cornerback, Ugo Amadi, also cut. So outside of Leki Fotu, you pretty much knew that every name on this list so far, and again, these are the early cuts. We'll see the main list tomorrow when they cut it all the way down to 53. Nobody surprised me on this list. I like Hodgins a lot as well, but we knew Hodgins wasn't going to make it. It was just a numbers game, so Hodgins wasn't going to make it. And Leki Fotu, again, that might be the only true surprise, but I'm not surprised because he wasn't that good, respectfully. But let me know what you guys think, man. I'm going to go back to, I see some people still commenting on the Okoye. Mr. February says, love the pickup of Okoye. Me too. Again, and shout out to Bobby Skinner, man. Bobby Skinner put out a tape, a film review of Okoye so quick. And you saw how the NFL did him too. They hit him with the monetization for using NFL footage, man. I'll tell you what, YouTube got to clean that up. Brandon, what's going on? He says the second the news comes out that Slayton is gone, I'm going to celebrate. Look at that. Luann say, keep Slayton. All right, I see that's where the conversation wants to go. We want to talk about Slayton. I see that. We want to talk about Slayton. So let's talk about Slayton. By show of hands in the comment section. By show of hands. How many of you guys want to keep Slayton? And how many of you guys want to get rid of Slayton? Now again, you can say you want to, if you can trade for him. Now, if somebody is willing to give up something for Darius Slayton, then that's fine. But if you talk about cutting him, that money goes with him. And I got issues with that. But I mean, if you just want to rip the Band-Aid off, you can do that as well. But let me know, man. Yes or no, keep Slayton, don't keep Slayton. For me, I'm keeping Slayton right now. We are a few injuries away from needing wide receiver depth. You saw what happened with Calvin Austin. People talking about getting rid of Slayton and not backfilling it with another wide receiver. To me, that's a little bit crazy. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Mandinka, yes, he plays nose tackle, talking about Okoye. He is a nose tackle. He can also play, A gap, B gap type of deal, but he is a nose tackle. Again, Mandinka, 370 pounds. He better be a nose tackle. He ain't out there just rushing the passer, man. The man is a tree stump, man. He is a human tree stump, hard to move. Again, he is still very, very raw and still developing. Naturally strong. That's not Christian Okoye's son, not to my knowledge. That's not the Nigerian Nightmare's son. As far as I know, that's not his son. But again, who knows? Jim Simpson says Muasau got to go. We're gonna talk about that, man, once we get to the actual predictions. That's the excitement right there. Is football is back. Listen, and it's funny too, because I'm gonna show a little bit of my pettiness, right? I see what's happening. There's a lot of injuries going around the league. Obviously, we got hit with the injury bug as well. So I don't feel as bad. I don't want to, knock on wood and do anything else, right? But the Commanders, man. The Commanders, who I am AKA calling the Bumanders, and shout out to the Commander fans that might be in here too. I'm calling you guys the Bumanders. Why? Because the season is right here. And there's no more friendly talk. It's all about rivalry, and I'm ready, and I'm on that type of time right now. So we got the Commanders are dealing with a lot of injuries, and I don't feel bad for them. You know why I don't feel bad for them? Because when the New York Giants were riddled with injuries, nobody cared. Nobody gave us any kind of sympathy. Nobody did any of that. So why should I care as a Giants fan? Especially when we're talking about we right around the corner from September, and September means football. College football started today. Watched a bunch of college football today too. Yeah, I'm excited for that. It's no more Mr. Nice Guy, no more Mr. Friendly talk and stuff like that. We are in the car and we are riding, and it's New York Giants time. It's a little quiet. I got to put on some background music while I'm at it. Let me know if it's too loud, though. I don't want it to be too loud, but let me know if it's too loud. Let me know if it's too loud. Let me know if you hear that. Um, Nebula says Need Hodges on the practice squad again if he wants to be. If he wants to be. Bankston cut kind of surprised you. Why? Why would Bankston surprise you? You didn't see him. You didn't see him at all. Bankston should not be a surprise, man. He absolutely shouldn't be a surprise. Tyrone Hall says, I can't wait the Sunday night against the boys. Yeah, I can't wait. And Tyrone, you be in all those places that I be in, all over YouTube, watching how these other teams be talking about the Giants. I can't wait. Listen, Tyrone, I know you know, I cannot wait to be able to start trash talking, man. I might start early for real. Jonathan says, why is Hyatt still on this team? He just holding, keeping that number 13 warm. That's all he doing right now, respectfully. He just keeping that number 13 warm. That's it. You got less than 24 hours, respectfully. Again, I don't like to play around with people's livelihoods and stuff like that, but we already know what it is when it comes to that. We definitely already know. Shout out to Tuto in the building with the $4.99 super chat. Says massive respects to Big Dash and all diehard Giant fans in the building. Greetings from my entire rugby club in Italy. Great live stream as always from AZ. Cheers, mate. Shout out to my man Tuto. You was just in Jersey, Tuto. You be moving around, man. You was just in Jersey. I think it was last week. Last week you was in Jersey, right? And now you back over there, man. Handle your business. Tell your team I said what up. Tell him I said what's going on, man, and good luck this season too. Iron Lion, what's going on? He says how Hodgins get cut before Hyatt. Hyatt gonna mess around and end up on like the IR, man. Because he's hurt. He gonna end up on the Giants IR. Watch. Just like Turbo ended up on the IR, Hyatt's gonna end up on the IR for sure. Hugh Burrow, brother, what's going on? He says no Hyatt. I told him I booked the Hilton. Shaking my head, man. Listen. We got to stop picking on Hyatt, man. That's low hanging fruit, man. We got to stop picking on Hyatt. I think the food is done. The food is done when it comes to Hyatt. We got to find somebody new to pick on, and I would much rather pick on somebody from another team. Speaking of that, I saw that the Dallas Cowboys traded for a tackle. Traded with the Steelers, got Broderick Jones from the Steelers, and guess what? It does not move the needle at all. At all. I listened to my wife. She's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, for those that don't know. Broderick Jones, she even told me Broderick Jones sucked. We already knew. And now the Dallas Cowboys went and traded for him. And guess what? It's still barbecue chicken week 1. I don't care if it's Broderick Jones, Terrence Steele, not Terrence Guyton. What's his name? Guyton, all those guys. I don't care. I really don't care. Tyler Guyton, that's his name. I don't care who they line up. We knocking them down. That's where I'm at right now. Trade for who? Anthony Cherry, who you said trade for who? Trade for who? Who else can we trade for? Deb Ellis says trade Slayton. That's about the only thing that makes sense is trading them. If you can save a little bit of money that way or get something back for him. Atlantic JM says, man, keep Slayton. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm siding with you, man. We are one injury away from needing somebody like Darius Slayton. I know it's scary to even think about that, but it's the truth. It is the truth. Mandinka says keep him as well. Mr. Finesse? Mr. Finesse says I want him out, but it will cost too much. That's a fact. $15 million. That's the dead cap on Darius Slayton. You can't just cut him. And you know what's crazy about that too, though? Because last week, the Miami game, he actually put up some numbers. He did some good work. And so and people, the same people that's probably saying to get rid of him, was probably saying, yeah, you see that there's value there still. There's still value with Slayton, but guess what? You don't have to depend on him as your wide receiver 2 or your wide receiver 3, anything like that. You telling me Darius Slayton, if you can't trade him and save the money or get something back for him, Darius Slayton as your wide receiver 4 or 5, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Before, we had to depend on him. We had him out there running, putting us in predicaments when he was dropping the ball. And now you really don't have to worry about that, because guess who gets on the field before Darius Slayton? Almost everybody else. But there's still value there. Absolutely still value there. Shout out to Tyrone Hall with the $5 super chat. Says, I got brand new gear to celebrate, and I'm an old timer. I can't wait. Let me know what you get. What did you get? You got talking jerseys, t-shirts, hats. I know they got the whole navy blue line they got right now on NFL Shop for the New York Giants with the Giants on the helmet. Yeah, let me know what you got. Tutu with the $4.99. Tudo with the $4.99 super chat says, Big Dash, when we get a week off of work, I got to spend time with my fan mate. What would you do, man? Absolutely, got to spend time with the family. He says, I've got 4 young sons, got a big fam already. You Italian, man? I already know what it is. And I bet you all of them eat good too, man. Like true Italians do. Shout out to all the Jersey Italians out there too, man. Shout out to all the Italians, matter of fact. Like I said, I'm from a place in New Jersey where I grew up around a lot of Italians, man. And the football dinners was fantastic. The football mothers treated everybody like sons. And one thing they made sure is that you were absolutely full before you left their table. So shout out to all the Italian moms out there that out here, feeding these teams of kids out there. And shout out to all the moms too, man. Shout out to all. I'm just saying, from where I'm from, it was a lot of Italian moms that was doing that. But shout out to my man Tudo and his family as well. Vaporizer says Slayton can get. He said he can get that F out of here respectfully. You can't. I don't want to argue with y'all tonight. It's not really worth the argument. It is one of the talking points, and I just noticed that I took the talking points down when I showed the graphic. But let me go ahead and put those talking points back up there. So I do want to keep it on point just a bit before we go off the rails. We usually do that in the second hour. My man King says, bye Slayton. I can't do a poll right now, but definitely put a poll. Keep Slayton versus goodbye Slayton. I see a lot of people saying goodbye to Slayton. Slayton leaves. Slayton needs to leave now. Wow. Slayton stays. OG says Slayton stays. Can be greater than Slayton, to be honest. Better hands, special teams value. Listen. It's a family reunion for a reason. Guess what? If this was a real family reunion, somebody would be arguing right now. The voices would be raised, because this is a genuine, look like almost a 50-50 split when it comes to Slayton. I'm gonna let you guys know right now, man. Again, for me, where I stand on the side of keeping Slayton, because you never know, and I need the insurance. That's me. I'm a little bit older. Insurance matters when you're a little bit older. Maybe if you're a little bit younger, you don't care about insurance. But for me, I need the insurance. I need the full coverage. I need full coverage for the 2026 season. If there are any setbacks, if anybody else goes down, I want to have an additional option where I'm okay. That's it. If he wasn't making the money that he was making, he probably would have been going already. But because he's making the money that he's making, you have to think about it just a little bit longer. All right. Jay Snow says we need guys who can plug holes. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on the Bengals right now when it comes to their defensive line. Obviously, they added Dexter Lawrence. There's some guys on the back end of that roster. You got Chris Jenkins, you got McKinley Jackson. I'm keeping an eye on those guys. Cole Brevard is with the Chiefs. That's another person that I'm keeping an eye on as far as defensive tackles go. And like you said, guys that can plug the holes, Pauls. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And then tomorrow, man, the waiver wire is going to be crazy. I might have to go live again once we actually get the real 53 to see what happens. Ant Davis says nobody has wanted him the last 2 trade deadlines. They haven't. Absolutely not. They didn't need to. Brandon says Fields is wide receiver too. I believe so. Why? And you already know it. Harbaugh kind of spilled the beans today, and with shout out to beat writer Evan Barnes from the New York Post. He asked Harbaugh. He said pretty much that is it fair to say that guys that did not get a lot of playing time, in the preseason game, are pretty much safe, and Harbaugh pretty much said, like, yeah, you can assume that. And like after that first preseason game, everybody was on the bandwagon as far as Malachi Fields being wide receiver too, and things have not changed since then. Now, when it comes to Darnell Mooney, When it comes to Darnell Mooney, everything that Darnell Mooney has done has been in practice. You read the practice notes, 70-yard touchdown, 60-yard touchdown. Got the second most targets from Jackson Dart, but we never got a chance to see it in the game. Obviously, last week, he missed the game because he was at his brother's wedding, his twin brother's wedding. And here's my thoughts, man. Shame on his brother for having a wedding in August, knowing your brother most likely, and your twin brother, that's the rumor, is his twin brother. He's most likely going to be the best man. You're going to take that man away from valuable time out there. I don't know. I think we would have been able to. I thought maybe we would have seen Mooney in that second game if he wasn't at that wedding. But I think it's kind of messed up that his brother put him in that predicament. Shout out to Rev. What's going on, Rev? With the $5 super chat, says that's always been one of my biggest problems, letting people go too early. Now, Rev, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say it's not like the BJ Hill. It's not like Dalvin Tomlinson. It's not that. We know exactly what Darius Slayton is and what he can bring to the table. We know that we are way past due when it comes to that situation. But because of the money and because of what the wide receiver room depth looks like, I'm saying to keep him. That's it. But he definitely had a long time to prove himself, and we saw every time he fell a little bit short. But he's always done just enough for us to fall back and be easy. Shout out to my man Mark in the building. What's going on, Mark? How you doing? My man Arvell Reese says Malik Neighbors could have over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys week 1. Their defense will still be. I think they made a lot of improvements on their defense. Funny enough though, the question mark right now for me is their slot receiver and their slot cornerback or their nickel cornerback, and it happens to be Caleb Downs. I think that they're playing him out of position, and I hope that they continue to do so because he has been getting cooked in training camp. From the clips that I've seen, even from Dallas Cowboy content creators, you see that Downs has been struggling a bit. You move him away from safety. I don't know why you did it. I don't understand why they did it, but I hope they keep on doing it, or they don't make the correction till after week 1. Let's do that. Let's hope for that. Sean Nevins, what's going on? He says he's going to be able to give Reader a breather, which we couldn't say that yesterday without a major drop off, and that's a fantastic point, Sean. Yes. It was almost similar to like the Dexter Lawrence situation, where when Dexter Lawrence is not on the field, the run game, the run defense just freaking crumbles. And John Harbaugh making that move today let you know that he was not even secure with the defensive line. He was not happy with what he's seen put out there on tape in the preseason. From Bobby Jamison Travis, from Darius Alexander, and he's not on this list of topics, but I can see how a lot of people are talking about Darius Alexander, so I'm going to make a point to talk about Darius Alexander and what my thoughts are with Darius Alexander. Roller coaster ride, inconsistency. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But yeah, CJ Okoye is going to be that backup nose tackle, no doubt in my mind. I think they even put him ahead of Bobby Jamison Travis. Now, again, don't expect great things. Now, great things happen, fantastic. But I'm saying don't expect great things because he is a backup, and also he was made available for a reason. If he was just a stud out there, I don't think the Ravens give him up. But because they were deep at the defensive line, and also they know he's still developing, it's more of a project for what the New York Giants need than what the Ravens need. So not a real knock on CJ Okoye. Only his 4th year of football ever. Didn't play college football, high school football, anything like that. When I say that there was a camp and OCU Manure just be running around, signing people up, said, oh, this man's 6'6", 370 pounds, sign him up. Let's see if we can do something with him. And so far, he's had a 4-year career in the NFL. So I'm happy about that. I do want to get to the bottom of the comments. What do you want me to tell him? What do you want me to tell him, Mo? Let him know, Dash. Hold on. All right, what we got here? Deb Ellis says, greetings to Tudo. Shout out to Tudo. So let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about the Darius Alexander thing. Shout out to everybody. I see everybody in there, man. Salute to y'all, man. John says, Dash, the Commanders will not win until they go back to the Skins. Listen. I don't know, and I don't care. I'm on that type of time, John. Mr. John, I'm on that type of time. Everybody is the enemy right now. Football is upon us. Is different levels right now. There's different levels. I can already feel the energy when it comes to that. Let's talk about Darius Alexander. Let's talk about Darius Alexander. And let me get all the way to the bottom of the comment section. So if I do scroll past your comments, I apologize. Shout out to the content creators also in the building. I see you guys as I'm scrolling. But I got to get down to the bottom because I was like 15 minutes behind on the comments. Darius Alexander. Okay. Darius Alexander has let me down a bit, to be honest. And Darius Alexander, if you happen to be watching right now, I'm going to give you a little bit of grace. Because at some point in time, you realize what a player is. Now, this is way too early. Again, we're talking about not even his second year. But there's something that I have realized about Darius Alexander. Darius Alexander is a 6'4", 310-pound pass rusher. That's what his strength is. That's what he's shown us. That's what he is. When it comes to getting down in the A gap, B gap, he struggles. Double team, he struggles. I don't know if it's a leverage thing, but you see him getting pushed around, especially when it comes to double teams. You got a man that got long arms, who should be strong enough to be sturdy at the point of attack, getting pushed around. But you notice in the passing game, he can give you pass rush. So now, think about your expectations. Taper your expectations when it comes to Darius Alexander, right? If you told me, okay, Darius Alexander at the beginning of the spring, you're like, okay, I need this guy to step up. That's what I felt like. I said, you got DJ Reader, you got Shelby Harris, you got Darius Alexander. Those are your three guys in the front, right? So now, since the preseason has happened, the inconsistencies have happened. But one thing that has stayed consistent with Darius Alexander is his ability to pass, to rush the passer. So now I have to shift my brain to, okay, Darius Alexander is not what I expected him to be so far. He's not what I expected to be so far. So now I have to look at him as he is in the court and judge him accordingly. To me, he is shown that he is a 6'4", 310-pound pass rusher. That's what it is. He's going to get you some pass rush. So now the package is going to be a little bit different. And luckily enough for us, we do have some depth on the line with Chauncey Golston, because Chauncey Golston is going to step right in as that defender that you need at the 3 technique, because they already said it. Denard Wilson called him a 3 technique too. Now you have a guy that can step into that role and be a better defender than against the run than Darius Alexander. So I see my man Soul Glow and say, I still believe in Alexander. I still believe in Alexander too, but the expectations that I had on him 2 months ago, I gotta pump the brakes a little bit. I gotta pump the brakes a little bit and understand who he is. And again, just when you have better guys playing next to you. Now, here's the other thing. When you have DJ Reader and Shelby Harris on the defensive line, and not Leke Fotu and Josh Topu and Bobby Jamison Travis, when you have those other guys next to you, you're not the one getting double teamed. And I do like Darius Alexander, when he's not being double teamed as a true 3 technique. But when you play him at the 2 tech, or if you're playing him, you definitely don't want to play him at 0 tech. It's going to be a problem. And I think this summer let me know that I need to just curb my enthusiasm on Darius Alexander a bit and see him as he truly is, a 6'4", 310-pound pass rusher. And that's what he is. And I think that's why you saw the moves being made, for somebody that can plug the hole, like we talked about earlier. Let me see what happened here. JDJ says he's barely the best Darius on the team. I think he is the best Darius on the team, we're going to be honest. Because Muasau not making it. Muasau's not making it, in my opinion, respectfully. Sean says we're on the same wavelength. Big Dash, preach. Listen, he is what he is. He is what he is, man. Like I said, this, again, obviously we'll find out for sure the rest of this season. We'll figure out what Darius Alexander is. But when you're struggling against the second team and the third team in preseason, and you're not playing consistent against the second, the third team, and some people that are not even making a roster, then you have to open your eyes and reassess and look at him in a certain light. And I had to pump the brakes. Knowingly, I had high hopes for Darius Alexander, and guess what? He can still prove a lot of us wrong. But right now, it's just not on tape. And that's all I got to say about that. Maybe some other things. Vaporizer says Darius Alexander at the time of the draft was a highly sought out prospect that had upside at the time. That's a fact. Can't kill Shane for the draft pick when the fan base was ecstatic at the time, to be honest. No, absolutely. And again, smaller school that he came from because he played at Toledo, but also he showed flashes. 4 sacks last year. That's nothing to, to take lightly. But when you throw expectations, again, we're throwing expectations on him of being a run stuffer. He might not be that. So let's just say this. Darius Alexander turns out not being a good run defender. But he still, when he's used, is giving you, pass rush. And maybe this season he can even get that same number, 4 to 5 sacks. That means he still has a role on the team. So look, I don't know. I'm not saying this for everybody. We're not kicking him to the curb or anything like that. We're just saying that he is not consistent, and also he's not what we thought he was going to be. But shame on us for thinking he was something that he wasn't before he got a chance to prove it. And also, he still has not had a full chance yet because we're talking about the preseason. But I understand. So let's talk about Bobby Jamison Travis, though. Unless you guys still want to talk about Darius Alexander, I want to talk about Bobby Jamison Travis because there's a lot of roster predictions that do not have Bobby Jamison Travis making the 53. And to me, I think he has to make the 53 because, again, first of all, he was a draft pick. Not saying that draft picks automatically make the team, but when you look at the rest of the defensive line, and depending on what happens once we get to the waiver wires, he is the best, fourth? Well, now he'd be the best 5th option. Actually, I don't know. Some people might have him above Darius Alexander. But he is still a developing option for the New York Giants. So let me know what you guys think about Bobby Jamison Travis, man. Does he make the 53? In your opinion, does Bobby Jamison, has he done enough? 2 sacks in the preseason. He got the belly rub celebration dance. I do like the vibes. I think he is a 6th round pick, but it's hard to say that when the other 6th round picks are having fantastic preseasons. But Bobby Jamison Travis, man, how y'all feel about Bobby Jamison Travis, man? I'm gonna get down to the comment sections. What's going on, Brandon? How you doing? We have a boat. Kazan says we have a boatload of pass rushers, not from the defensive tackle spot though. That's what makes him different. He gives you pass rush from the defensive line. That's a little bit different. So he still has value for sure. New York State of Mind says Yankees 4, Boston 1, top of the 7th. Last time I was checked in on that game, Boston was up 1-0. I think it was Caleb Durbin on the mound for Boston at the time. So I'm happy to hear that the Yankees are winning right now. Traffic jam is in. Nah, I think so. Anthony Cherry says yes, the belly rubber makes it. The belly rubber. I'm a Captain Jack fan. I like the Captain Jack is a dope name too. I like that, Vinny. I like that one. Is this Vinny? Shout out to my man Vinny, man. What's going on? I think you changed the profile pic. Maybe not. But you look like the same other guy that goes by the name Vinny G. Let me know. Mr. Finesse says he makes it. OKC Donald, he didn't say yes or no, but I'm assuming since you put the name in there, he said he'll make it. Nova Nebula says he makes it. Okay. Jay Snow says love the belly dance. Brandon says Bobby has to make it. He'll play right behind Reader. Not anymore. They really got CJ Okoye out there. I think he becomes nose tackle number 2, and then Bobby Jamison Travis is in that reserve role. And when I say reserve role for defensive tackle, that's DT5 possibly. He might not get a jersey every week. He might be in a t-shirt on some Sundays. Mark Thompson, what's going on, Mark? He says I like BJT, but he is developmental. He makes it as our option are not great, and we can't expose him to being poached. I do believe he will be poached if you waive him for sure. Shout out to Anthony Cherry with the $2 super chat. No comment, just showing love and support. I appreciate that. Vinny, that's you, Vinny. Okay, yeah, there you go. You said I had to rock the blue tie. I feel you. I absolutely do. Polar Bear, what's going on? So a lot of people saying that Bobby Jamison Travis will make the team. I believe that as well. And you know what? Let's get into. Nope. Let's see. D-line. That's it for the D-line because everybody else is pretty much a lock. Reader's a lock. Shelby Harris is a lock. CJ Okoye, because they spent draft capital on him, he's going to be a lock. Darius Alexander, a lot of people are sleeping now. That might be a surprise cut. Some people say, hey, it might be, that would be a surprise cut if they happen to still cut Darius Alexander. I just think you don't give up on that because, again, he still has a role on his team. You just have to tape your expectations for him. Corky says, I think he makes it and is going to develop into a good player. I think so, man. He flashed. Again, he has to be a little bit stronger. We saw him get washed a few times. But also he's able to make plays. You guys notice how much Dennard Wilson is dropping the tackles into passing lanes? We saw that again yesterday and ended up getting the sack. But I like that Dennard Wilson is giving us just a peek of what this defense is going to look like. But I can't wait for the Dallas game because that's when the handcuffs come off, and everything that we've seen, all the vanilla stuff that we've seen is out the window, and it's going to be full blown mayhem. Jay Snow says, "What you think about Colton Hood?" Colton Hood is another guy I had to pump my brakes on. I'm happy that we have the cornerback depth that we do have. I know a lot of people felt the same way. You get Colton Hood. Colton Hood might be the starter by the time the season starts. We got to pump the brakes. He is a rookie. He is developing. He has had an up and down preseason as well. For him, I noticed that, he is normally in the right position, but he is having an issue with like the comeback routes. Having a little bit of an issue with that, which I didn't see that part of his game happening. But again, I like his aggressiveness. I like when he's wrong. He's still fast when he's wrong. But definitely not anywhere near being a starter for the Giants right now. And it's crazy to even think about that because going into the preseason, we thought the secondary was a weakness. And then all of a sudden, Greg Newsome is showing up. Tay Banks is showing up. Paulson Debo still pushing for a job. But another thing that Harbaugh kind of leaked out there is pretty much Newsome and Banks for the most part. So we'll see what happens. So other choices made by that Harbaugh, pretty much leaked. Not really leaked when it's coming from the coach. Dominic Zaveda has absolutely won the competition. They're going to waive Ben Sauls. I think Ben Sauls is probably going to be the first Giants player picked up from another team because he was perfect last season when we got him. And then also Ben Mann. So we have a undrafted free agent long snapper, undrafted free agent kicker, both rookies. And that shows a lot of faith in that John Harbaugh has in these two young guys that are going to be a core part of the special teams. And of course, Jordan Stout is Jordan Stout, the highest paid punter in the league for a reason. So yeah, special teams is pretty much solidified. We kind of had the idea that Zaveda was winning that competition anyway. And then, that has been, confirmed by John Harbaugh himself. Let's see. Jers, what's going on? Jers 732 on the bill said, what up, Dash? What's going on with OBJ? I think he makes it. Now, this is the conversation that I wanted to have because there's a lot of different opinions in the chat that we have today. And for me, actually, hold on, let me get to Mark Thompson's comment. He says, we have a bunch of number 2 CBs, no elites, but however, even depth. Yes, there's a lot of depth. I feel comfortable with the secondary room. The biggest question mark for me now is still the defensive line behind Reeder and Shelby Harris. CJ Okoye makes me feel a little bit better, but again, he's unproven. And then you know what? We're gonna get right into this now. OBJ, yes or no? OBJ makes the team. I think the Yays have it. But if you feel like participating, just a quick yes or no. Is OBJ a lock for the New York Giants? Let me know. I like Ben Sauls too, man. I was a fan of Ben Sauls. Better Call Saul. He had a dope nickname and everything. But Dominic Zaveda is kicking the hell out of the ball. Period. I see the yeses. The yeses have it. Vaporizer says OBJ is wide receiver 4. That's a fact. Absolutely. I see absolutely in there. Air Force Up says big yes. Joe Edwards says Stout is putting a foot in that punting the ball. Yes, he is. Absolutely. OBJ is a lock. I see that. Jim Simpson says yes. New York State of Mind says yes. OBJ is a lock. PW Cho says that. Mark Thompson says, I have my doubts, but OBJ makes it. Nah, I hear it. I think OBJ is a lock, man. It would have been a little bit more shaky if Calvin Austin never went down. But I think as soon as Calvin Austin went down, I was already confident OBJ making the team too. We'll see, we'll find out tomorrow. Next question is this. I mean, it says OBJ in here. Yes, Sirski. Yes, Sirski. I'm gonna ask another question. Just a quick question. Does he take number 13 back? I think he has to, right? He has to take the number 13 back, right? It's only right. That completes the story. And guess what? Maybe as soon as he puts back on that 13, a lot of those passes that he dropped don't become drops anymore. I'm being superstitious right now. It's like Samson with his hair. OBJ with the number 13. Full powers after that. He's at maximum power with the number 13. Just imagine that, man. Just imagine that. Sunday night, 2 weeks from now, warming up. You know how the players warm up on the field. Now, if you go into that game, shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's going to that game. It's going to be electric in that building, man. It's going to be electric in MetLife in 2 weeks, Sunday Night Football. But just imagine you warming up on the field, and we're really not going to see OBJ in that number 13 until that day. Until that day. Obviously, the beat writers are going to leak it, though. You know the beat writers will be at practice. And as soon as he gets that number 13, it's going to be on all over everywhere. All over everywhere. He said, good analogy with the Samson. Like Samson with his hair, man. You know, as soon as you took the 13 off him, like Samson, when they cut his hair, it was over. It was over. But guess what? Guess what? That number 13 is coming back. He said he has to. Listen, man. Listen, I'm nostalgic, man. I'm one of those fans. I love a good storyline. Hooks Rub says, is Hyatt officially gone? No, but yes. No, but yes. No, but yes. That's like, yeah, it's damn near official without being official. Hooks, for real. But I need that 13 on OBJ, especially against Dallas. I need that. I don't care if he plays 4 snaps. As soon as Odell Beckham checks in on the field, it's going to be pandemonium. Pandemonium. And I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Hold on. You said, of course, he takes number 13. He needs to relax a bit and not try so hard. I think his play will elevate as the season moves on. Just think about this. And I think this, like mentally, obviously he's been through a lot. Some of it being his own, own doing, other things being injuries and stuff like that. But just think about the situation that he put himself in. And then returning back to New York, he's out there hugging his son and hanging out with his mother before the game. Just think about all that pressure. He really wants to do this. Like, it's not just him doing this for money. I really believe that OBJ feels like he has something to prove, and I'm here for that. I want that type of hunger from somebody that's 33 years old. He wants to prove that he can still do it, and he wants to show his son that he can still do it. Because he said, I can play videos for my son. I can play videos. I can show him what I was. He wants his son in the building, seeing his father make plays in real time. And I'm just telling you this right now. This is a different type of hunger when it comes to OBJ right now. I don't know if that turns into plays on the field, but I know for a fact, as far as him mentally, he is ready to go. Randall, what's going on? He says, hey, Big Dad, just finished watching CJ Okoye. He's a giant. He's a giant of a man. I do believe he weighs 370 pounds. You would be right. Teaming him up with the new friends, DJ Reed and Shelby Harris. Now we have a roadblock to barricade. Just think about on short downs. 4th and 1 or something, and you got DJ Reed next to CJ Okoye next to Shelby Harris. Or over your center and your guards and your tackles. That's what I like. You got some guys that are hard to move. And then you got guys like Tremaine Edmonds and Arbel Reese filling the gaps. And you got the edges covered with Burns and Abdul Carter and Tibbs and these guys and Ghost and I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I keep telling people too, man. I was in, which one is it? It's the NFC East thing that they have, and it's my man KB, is Jay Turk for Dallas, it's the Simone the content creator from the Eagles, and it's Rio Robinson. I can't remember the name of the show, but they do the show, and Kid Blue was fighting and they was triple teaming them and stuff like that. And I'm just in the comment section, man. And some of you guys was in it. You see me in the comment section. I'm live in the comment section. I support a lot of these other Giants content creators for sure. I'm always in the comment section. And I was like, you know what? I said, you guys got 2 weeks to get all of your laughing and your jokes out. That's it. That's all you got. 2 more weeks. And then all the joking and stuff got to stop after that. So I'm gonna not even let these people slide, because I'm still going to be in the comment section heavy. But I hope they understand that. And as soon as we turn into what I think we're going to turn into, it's going to be foot on next, man. I'm gonna be a different type of animal, man. It's gonna get spooky out here for these other teams. They're not going to be able to ignore me. They're not going to be able to ignore me in the chats. I'm going to be stomping on everything. Everything. I just need my Giants to be good at the end of the day. That's it. Make this team better. Keep making this team better. I think we're on the same page. Sean says, Big Dash, I've heard your name mentioned several times in the comments on other channels that I watch. Now, they do show love and support, man. Shout out to all those guys, man. Shout out to all those guys, man. They do show a lot of love, and again, and I do the same thing, and hopefully it's reciprocated. And I do see that too. So now I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Luann says, I want Sauls on the practice squad. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going. I don't think that's going to happen. You know, we are already at the hour mark, so I do want to start putting up this roster predictions. So let me go ahead and take. I'm gonna put up my roster prediction. You guys want to do offense or defense first? Let me know. I'm not going to crash yet, man. I slowed down. You saw me. I hit the brakes. I'm not going to crash yet. I'm ready, though. I do be pulling up, though. I'll be pulling. They don't even know. Sometimes I just sit and watch and I don't comment, but I see everything. New York state of mind, I'm telling you, I see everything. I'm like the boogeyman. I'm always there when I'm not there. I'm always there when I'm not there, but I'm always there. And as soon as I hear something that I don't like, I'm in the comment section. I'm telling you right now. I pop up. What was that? What's the Adam Sandler movie when the butler kept popping up out of nowhere? That's how I'll be popping up. That's how I'll be popping up. What movie is that? When the butler just be popping up out of everywhere. Super sneaky. I'm sneaky. I'm definitely that guy. I'm definitely. If you watching Giants content, I don't care if it's the biggest channels to the smallest channels, I might be in there. Mr. Deeds, that's what it is. Thank you very much, Mr. Deeds. The butler used to pop up out of nowhere. Sneaky. That's me. Absolutely. I see a lot of people saying offense. There's a couple defenses, but a lot of people, the offense has it. So we're going to go right into the offense. This should be quick, though. It should be quick. Let me go ahead and move this out the way. Take that down. Where's my offense? It's my offense right here. This is what I have. Let me move the comments. This is what I have for the offense. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to go down the list. Quarterback's pretty easy. I got Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston, QB1, QB2. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that at all. I will say this. I will much rather have Jake Haener as the emergency quarterback, practice squad quarterback, than Brandon Allen. 100%. I don't need to see Brandon Allen no more. Anymore. He can leave. He can go. Absolutely. Fullback Pat Ricard. I'm gonna count him as a fullback, not as a tight end. Now, here's the first thing I know people are gonna argue with me about. I'm gonna go to the tight ends. I got Isaiah Likely, Theo Johnson, and this is a long shot, but it's how I feel, and this is my list, my prediction. I would much rather have Thomas Fidone than Chris Manhertz. So let me know in the comment section the choice between Thomas Fidone and Chris Manhertz, and guess what? Everybody's opinion is warranted. There is no wrong answer until tomorrow. So let me know how you guys feel about it, man. Thomas Fidone or Chris Manhertz, which way are you guys going? When I start seeing some of the comments, I will tell you guys why I like Thomas Fidone over Chris Manhertz. Let me know. My man Jay Snow says Manhertz definitely making the roster. They love him. Listen, I like him too. I don't love him. I like him too. You said that's I was typing it as you said it. Joe Edwards says, I like Fidone. I absolutely like Fidone. Nova Nebula says Manhertz and Stinney will be on the roster. Now, it's a little bit of a loophole that I have here, too, and you guys will see that when I get to the defense. Let's see what else we got here. Fidone to the practice squad. I think he gets poached, to be honest. Manhurst, great blocking tight end, and he can catch. Not better than Fidone, in my opinion. Air Force Up says, man was selected as a captain. That people keep telling me that. There's a difference between the captains and the leadership team. He is a part of the leadership team, not necessarily the captains yet. Leadership team. Different. Is different. Is different. But he is a part of the leadership team. He ain't the captain yet. And watch, as soon as I say this, he ends up being named the captain. Shout out to Don with the $10 super chat. He says the absolute best comment in the preseason was by Andrew Thomas saying we have a lot of apex predators on their defense. Absolutely. I love that too. You know what else? Comment I also liked. It was the same interview. He called Greg Roman's blocking scheme. He called him a magician or a wizard, something like that, when it comes to the creating a blocking scheme. So those are two fantastic comments coming from Andrew Thomas this preseason. Rev says, I agree with you, Dash, about the third quarterback. Yeah, Brandon Allen got to go. Go ahead and give me Jake Haener. And Jake Haener is not even fantastic. He's just the better out of those two options to me. I don't need to see Brandon Allen anymore at all. Give me Jake Haener. Just imagine, I don't want Brandon Allen running the practice, running the scout offense. I don't want him. I don't want our team prepping against, like, Jake Haener's not in, like, he ain't that much better, but I don't want Brandon Allen, running the scout offense. I don't. I would much rather have a fast receiver or something out there doing it than Brandon Allen. Respectfully, I'm just saying. Big Chill, that's one of the best arguments when it comes to Manhurts versus Fidone for me, is Manhurts is more durable. That's a fact. Manhurts is a better blocker. That's what Deb says. David Lord, what's going on? He says, did you get to see him in action? How bad has JMS been? I have been hearing, but he has looked terrible. JMS, and you guys know how I feel about JMS. JMS is the third best center on the roster, but we have not got to the offensive line yet. We're talking about the tackles. I will get back to that. I would absolutely get back to that. Jay Snow says, I like Fidone too. I hope he makes the practice squad. Man, is it Manhurts a cat? Again, he's not a captain. He's on the leadership team. He's on a leadership team. That's not the captains. It's like 17 people on the leadership team. Not that many. I'm over exaggerating, but it's like 10 people on the leadership team. Now, I do believe that all of the captains will be guys from the leadership team, but not everybody on the leadership team is going to be captains. If somebody can pull that list up, let me know. But yeah, he's part of the leadership team, huh? Soul Glow says, hold on, Dash, Thomas Fidone over Manhurts. Absolutely. That's where I'm at. Now, here's my reasoning for it, right? Here's my reasoning for it. Who is Brian Hudson? The second best center on the team. That's who Brian Hudson is. The second best center, number 60. When JMS went down and Lucas Patrick had the sore knee, Brian Hudson stepped up. When you saw Jackson Dart out there playing, Brian Hudson was the center. That's who Brian Hudson is, man. As long as it's not the other Hudson that we have, as long as it's not James Hudson from last year. But no, this is Brian Hudson. But here's why I like Thomas Fidone over Manhurts. And I'll also say this, man. Obviously heavy personnel, 12 personnel, sometimes 22 personnel. Pat Ricard has worked out with the tight ends as well, so he also gives you an option as a blocking tight end in line as well, Pat Ricard. But Thomas Fidone, as far as a receiving tight end, he gives you way more. So here's my example. Okay, Chris Manhurts. We like Chris Manhurts as a blocker. Theo Johnson goes down with a concussion. Who you want out there as a receiving threat was with Isaiah Likely? Manhurts or Thomas Fidone? You know what I mean? If Likely's not there, who do you want out there with Theo Johnson to help Jackson Dart in the receiving game as a safety blanket for a tight end? I would much rather have Thomas Fidone than Chris Manhurts. He just gives you more. And also, we don't know what Thomas Fidone is exactly, but I do know this. When he was coming out of high school, he was a 5-star recruit, dealt with injuries at Nebraska. But when you see him on the field, and even in last week's game and this week's game, he was able to make plays, pull down some catches, large catch radius. And he is okay as a blocker, still working on that. But the upside of Thomas Fidone is what I'm banking on. And guess what? Who's hurt right now? Theo Johnson. He's hurt right now, recovering right now, shoulder injury. I think that Thomas, and I might be by myself. I see some people might agree with me. I see a lot of people like Manhertz, and I understand why you do, because I like Manhertz too. But when it comes to a tight end and for the future and beyond, for me, I think Thomas Fidone has more upside than Chris Manhertz. Chris Manhertz is already, 32 years old? You know what I mean? And shout out to him. He's a New York native. Respectfully, I just like Thomas Fidone a little bit more. Not even a little bit more, a lot more of what he can bring you in the receiving game. And when I look at Jackson Dart and who he likes to target, the tight end, he's very, very friendly to the tight ends. That sounds like it needs a pause, but I'm not going to pause it. Anthony Brooks says, Brandon Allen is absolute trash. I've been screaming at my TV for 3 weeks. When he's on the field, just constant checkdowns and mistakes. PW Cho says, JMS gets ragged. Listen, man. If y'all want to talk about trading somebody, if somebody wants listen, I called JMS my son for 3 years? For 3 years, I've been calling him my son. I was happy when the New York Giants drafted him. I thought the center position was over as soon as we drafted him, and it's been heartbreak after heartbreak. And I can't defend him anymore. And when you see him in the preseason, he looked bad in preseason versus 2s and 3s. And then I see Lucas Patrick, and then I see Brian Hudson, better reps, especially Lucas Patrick. The only issue with Lucas Patrick is he can't stay healthy. He got health issues too, but when he's out there, he's one of the best blockers out there. Experience. So I think the center, I think we address the center position next year, whether it be free agency or the draft. But we got to figure it out. Or if Brian Hudson or Lucas Patrick step up. The best thing that happened to the New York Giants, or I should say the best thing that happened to Brian Hudson and Lucas Patrick, was JMS going down and those guys getting the chance to play. And now the coaches, to me, if I can see it, you guys can see it. The coaches got to see it too. JMS, unfortunately, and it hurts my heart to say it, he is the third best center on the team. But I do have him making the team, as you can see there too. But I think we can move on to the wide receivers. You guys see the list. My man says, "Sweet Daddy JMS." He got to step up, man. He got to step up. PW Charles Cho says Fidone has got some hands, not as good as a run blocker. No, he's not. Eric says 2027 new center via draft or free agency. Yeah, absolutely. You got to fix that, man. Speaking of offensive line, though, you guys see it here. J.C. Davis, pretty much the gem of the offseason, of the preseason. Early on, it was Jack Kelly, and we'll talk about Jack Kelly when we get to the defensive side. But J.C. Davis has been an absolute gem for the New York Giants so far. Solid, played fantastic. 2 weeks in a row, I believe he played 100% of the snaps at left tackle. That's fantastic too, and did a good job. He had one penalty this past game, but other than that, man, he has been a bright spot on this offensive line, amongst other bright spots too. And guess what? I'm cooking up some crow for myself. I have to fall back. I got to shut up when it comes to Jon Runyan. This new blocking scheme, the new offensive line coach, Bloom. And listen, when I'm wrong, guess what? I own up when I'm wrong. Some people are running away from being wrong. I never run away from being wrong. Jon Runyan looks like somebody totally different in a good way so far. I don't have any bad things to say about Jon Runyan. I'm just hoping that whatever's going on right now, it carries on into the season. But Jon Runyan, officially, I'm going to apologize to you. Find my camera. I'm going to apologize to you. I'm going to shut my mouth. And hopefully you do what you did in the preseason in the regular season. I'm going to have to shut up and eat crow on that one. Francis Maui-Noah, man. Francis Maui-Noah, as long as he's healthy, he is going to be a dominant guard in the league. I know that we drafted him and we kicked him inside the guard. A lot of people say, maybe at some point in time when Illuminor's contract is up, we can bump him back out the outside. No. To me, you're looking at a future all-pro guard in Francis Maui-Noah. I don't care if Jermaine Illuminor leaves in a year, 2 years, whatever. We got him for 2 years, whatever. But we need to find another right tackle if we're going to replace Jermaine Illuminor. And I think he's already on the roster too, whether it be Marcus Bowe or J.C. Davis. But Francis Maui-Noah is as good as advertised, especially in the run game. We saw him block his own brother yesterday. We saw him block his own brother. Almost was a pancake for a touchdown from Tyrone Tracy. And I also, when it comes to Tyrone Tracy, I'm happy that Tyrone Tracy only has a stinger. It got scary for a moment. But yeah, Francis Maui-Noah, when you look at this offensive line, Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, JMS by default, Francis Maui-Noah, Jermaine Illuminor, we got the best offensive line we had in years. And it looks like we're going to have the best offensive blocking scheme that we've had in years. Now we got to figure out if JMS can hold up or not. But guess what? If JMS does not hold up, I got Brian Hudson and Lucas Patrick both making the team, because Lucas Patrick also gives you guard versatility. You already have the tackle reserve spots ready with Marcus Bowe and J.C. Davis. But Lucas Patrick gives you center guard. Brian Hudson gives you center guard. I think we only need to keep 9 offensive linemen. So here's the question when it comes to the offensive line. And I'm sorry I jumped off of the tight ends, but I see that the man hurts having in the argument, so I'm going to move on. I see Top Narc said Fidone looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. That's disrespectful. That's funny as hell, though. That's funny. That's mad disrespectful, though. That's mad disrespectful. Hold on, let's see. I'm seeing a couple comments on the Fidone, so I do want to read these. He says they can accommodate for that situation though and elevate Fidone from the practice squad if need be. I don't think he warrants him having a roster spot over Manhertz. You need good blocking tight ends, 100%. Again, I knew it was going to be a debate when I said it. I knew it was going to be a debate. Hooks rub, that's all you need to see. JMS got ate up by Mazi Smith, and Mazi Smith right now is out of the league. They consider Mazi Smith a bust, and to your point, Hooks, Mazi pretty much handed JMS's lunch. That's it. Joe Edwards says J.C. Davis can hold his own. Said Harbs loves him. He played the whole game in the last 2 preseason games. Yeah, that's a fact. Davis was a great pick, absolutely. Stinnie will make the 53. Now I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag a little bit early, right? So I have 25 guys on offense, three on special teams, and I only have 24 on the defensive side. So when we get to the defensive side of my roster prediction, you'll see that it's only 24. And if I don't know what part of math you had or what part of math you graduated, that's 52 players. The roster is 53. I left out one spot on purpose because there's some discussion about Evan Neal. There's some discussion about the linebacker spot. There's some questions on the cornerback spot too. Do we keep 5 or do we keep 6? So I did leave a spot blank for a reason, and you guys can help me once we get to that part of the conversation. But I do see somebody mentioned Evan Neal. Eric mentioned Evan Neal. So I got a question for everybody when it comes to Evan Neal, right? Everybody keeps saying Manhertz is a captain. He's on a leadership team. The captains have not been set yet, but he is on a leadership team. They respect him. He's a grown man. He's the OG in there. Man, 30-something years old. You know, in football years, 32 is like 52. But I understand when it comes to linemen, but maybe not, because Odell Beckham is older than that. Dave says, outside of Fidone, I agree with the offense. Okay. So, where we going? Evan Neal. I almost fell out my chair earlier today. Evan Neal put up a grade in the preseason game. I believe it was like 88.2. A PFF grade of 88.2 coming from Evan Neal. Where was this? Where was this 4 years ago? Where was this 4 years ago? Is it really about the blocking scheme? Is it really just him getting kicked inside? Recently. A lot of people kept telling us, right? And we wanted to see Evan Neal get moved inside after year 2. But Evan Neal is looking good in this blocking scheme. Now, again, there's still question marks when it comes to pass pro. I understand that, but when it comes to the run blocking, Evan Neal looks good. Not just solid, not just okay. He actually looks good. So again, I left a spot blank. Does Evan Neal make the roster to you guys? I'm still going to say no. But I'm going to ask you guys, man, because we family, right? We family. Y'all think Evan Neal making the 53? I don't know. I will say this though. He played good enough in the preseason that I think another team is going to take a chance on him. They're going to see, oh, this guy can actually play guard. Not saying that they're going to make him a starter, but they're going to continue this development of Evan Neal, and who knows what he can turn into. But I don't think he makes this 53 this year. Jury says Neal has been fixed. It looks like it. It looks like it because he put 3 good games together, not just one. He put 3 good games together. Eric says 60% Neal is that's still a yes. Shout out to the Yankees for still holding on. Dorothy Slippers, way to go. I saw it from Dorothy Slippers says Evan Neal looked like garbage in garbage time against the Dolphins. He didn't. And we've seen Evan Neal look bad. We've seen Evan Neal square dancing with defensive linemen. We've seen it. Square dancing with defensive linemen. He's looking different this year. I got to give him credit where credit's due. Now, do I trust him? Absolutely not. I don't trust him. And guess what? I don't have to worry about trusting him because there's people in front of him that's going to play over him. I just want to know how you guys feel about it, and I think I got the answer. I do see Arvell Reese says Panthers signed Bobby Okereke. I saw that earlier. Shout out to Bobby Okereke. I'm glad somebody gave him a chance. Bobby Okereke to me is a solid linebacker. He just didn't fit what the New York Giants needed anymore, or it could have just been Shane Bowen at the end of the day too. So Bobby Okereke goes to the Panthers in the reserve role, and when he does play, he looks good. I'm just going to blame it on Shane Bowen. And I wouldn't be wrong, and you wouldn't be wrong either. I would be a little upset about it, but no, I like my upgrades with Edmonds and Reese and the type of physicality we need from the linebacker spot. But again, shout out to Bobby Okereke. You're talking about Evan Neal. He's 6'7", 350 Harbs type of player. He is, and that's why he gave him a chance. And he should be thankful that Harbs gave him a chance because he got a chance to showcase his talent across the league, and I think that, maybe somebody picks him up. Now, if Neal makes it through waivers, I'm absolutely signing him to the practice squad. He's still going to get a check from the New York Giants if he makes it through waivers. I would bring him back. I would bring Stinnie back. Let me ask you guys this. So, let's get to the wide receivers, actually, and then I'm going to ask about guys that you would want to bring back to from the offense to the practice squad. Okay, so Cam Scott, I do have the New York Giants keeping 4 running backs. Cam Scatterbull, Tyrone Tracy. Again, I'm happy that he only has a stinger, that it wasn't a concussion or worse. Devin Singletary is a pro's pro. Najee Harris looked good. Najee Harris did look good yesterday. Yesterday. He looked healthy. He looked like he's going to be ready to go. And now it's a real question about who's going to be getting these snaps behind Cam Scatterbull. So if you guys want to answer that question, tell me how you feel about who running back 2 is in the committee. Let me know in the comment section. But I do have us keeping all 4 running backs. And then next, we're going to talk about the wide receivers. I got us keeping only 6 wide receivers. I don't think there are any surprises here. I did see some murmurs in the comment section talking about Gibson making the team over Braxton Berrios, but I got Braxton Berrios making the team as wide receiver 6. So I got Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Malachi Fields. This is not in order outside of Malik Neighbors. Darnell Mooney, Odell Beckham, Braxton Berrios. Those are my 6 wide receivers. So 2 quarterbacks, 1 fullback, 4 running backs, 3 tight ends, 9 offensive linemen, and 6 wide receivers on the offense. A total of 25 players on the offense is what I have. Trade for Mazi Smith. Are you saying that we did it? Are you saying that you want to? Because I do not want Mazi Smith, man. He was trash at Dallas, and the Jets didn't want him either. I don't know. Will I sign him to the practice squad? I'll give anybody a chance on the practice squad if you think you can fix him. Dennis Johnson is a fantastic defensive line coach that we have. If he wants a chance to try to mold Mazi Smith as a practice squad player, absolutely. But I can't see us signing him to the 53. If you sign him to the 53, that means you're getting rid of Bobby Jamison Travis or CJ Okoye. Because as you can see, once I switch to the defensive side, I only have us keeping 5 defensive linemen. Jay Snow says Bobby Okereke looked really bad last year, and even in a bad year, the man had over 100 tackles. But he's just not physical enough for what we want to do. And I think that's it. But also, again, Shane Bowen made a lot of people look horrible. Shane Bowen probably the reason why Dexter Lawrence looked so bad. I mean, Javon Holland looked horrible last year too. We're gonna blame that on Shane Bowen too, I'm assuming. Nubin looked horrible. Cornerbacks looked horrible. Everybody looked horrible except for Brian Burns for the most part. Abdul Carter starting the season, he didn't look good. And then as soon as you go to Charlie Bullen, everybody started looking good again. So we're gonna see what a lot of these other guys are too, man. But I just don't like to kick Okereke while he's down, and I'm glad he's with the Panthers. I care, but I don't care. But Bobby Okereke was always, Walter Payton nominee and all that stuff, man. Good guy. Big Chill says Gibson over Barrios. Again, why? Because we saw him in the preseason game. Barrios is all pro, man. We see the report is a lot longer. Now, Gibson did some good things, but also Gibson got to give up that 88 jersey if we were to keep him. I need Malachi Fields in that 88 number jersey. Gibson can't keep that number if we keep him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would much rather see Malachi Fields in 88, because if he don't get 88, what are you gonna get? 87, 89? Come on, man. What we talking about? I didn't see anybody mention Dalen Cambry. I thought I saw it, but Dalen Cambry was another one. Core special teamer. Out there making plays. There you go. PW Cho brought up Cambry too. Okay, there you go. It's just a numbers game. It's just a number game. Mr. Finesse also likes Gibson over Barrios. What was Gibson over Barrios before yesterday? That's my question. So who was it? My man Corky said it. Who else said it? Corky said it. Big Chill said it. And who else? Somebody else said it too. All the people that say Gibson over Barrios, did you think Gibson was over Barrios before yesterday's game? Let me know. Just be honest. Be honest. Let me know. Or was it yesterday's performance that did it for you? Let me know. Eric says Darius Alexander no good in the pre. We still talking about Darius Alexander. We're gonna switch over to the defensive side in just a moment. Shout out to my man Cap and Guy with the 5 jewels. Appreciate the love and support. I finally realized how those jewels work. I did some research. I appreciate the love and support. I ain't bad mouthing Bobby. No, I'm not, man. Shout out to Bobby O, man. He gave me something to cheer for that first year. I'm not gonna dog him. I'm not going. Hyatt News, man. When you wake up in the morning, it might be official as soon as you wake up, depending on if you live on the East Coast, West Coast. I expect to see that news very, very early tomorrow. Very, very early. Is it Thagamizer? Thagamizer. I'm scared to ask what that even means. Gibson and Cambry can both be signed to the practice squad. I think so. There's no fear that Cambry or Gibson are getting picked up, in my opinion. I think those guys make it through waivers, no problem, and you put them on the practice squad, and then you got the chance to elevate them. That's a good solution, to the Gibson and the Cambry questions that we have right now. JJ the King says, cut Darius Slayton. I'm not eating $15 million. I'm sorry. I would much rather see him on the bench than eat the $15 million. If he go out there for one play a week and give me one catch every 2 games, I can't eat $15 million. It's not my money. I'm not the Giants, but I don't want to eat $15 million, almost $16 million of dead cap. I'd rather bury him on the bench. I know it's kind of like the same thing, but it's better. It's just like safety, man. They say certain things like it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. It's better to have Darius Slayton and not need him than to need Darius Slayton and not have him. That's another analogy for you, Rev. Hope you like that one too. But y'all know what I mean. It's better to need it and not have. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Jay Snow says Barrios been injured the past 2 years. Yeah, but guess what? Again, you're not depending on him 100%. It's just insurance. At the back end of the roster is special teams and insurance. If they felt like he couldn't get through the season because of injuries, then guess what? He's gone. But you can absolutely put Gibson and Cambry on the practice squad. If not Both of them, you're going to get at least one of those guys back. And there you go. That's an easy solution. Easy solution. I'll tell you what, though. If you do go with Gibson over Berrios, and the first time that man back there and he muff a punt, y'all gonna want the heads to roll, man. You can count on Berrios. You know how you felt about Gunnar Olszewski, how you just felt comfortable with Gunnar Olszewski back there? He wasn't gonna muff it. You're not having a heart attack before the return that catches the ball. That's what Berrios gives you. I don't know if I have that same kind of confidence in Gibson. Again, respectfully. And damn sure Cambry more of a gunner than a receiver anyway. But I understand where people are coming from. I understand it. Shout out to Real Prince Castro in the building with the fee 5-4 from. He said, "What's up, brother? The narrative of he's not the OBJ of old is unnecessary. He's still the second best wide receiver on the team. Still put Fields ahead." I understand where you're coming from with that, man. And for me, I think that highly of Odell Beckham as well. There's one thing that Odell Beckham proved in these games, outside of just getting open, is how he got open. When it was zone defense, he found the soft spot. I saw somebody complain, "Oh, well, OBJ just fell down after he caught it." I said, what are you even talking about? That's what happens when you sit in a spot on the zone. You sit in a spot in the zone. It's in the name of the phrase. You sit in the spot. You find a hole, you sit in it. The quarterback found him. You know what? Wasn't much he can do with it. He had to sit down. First down. That's all I care about. Can you move the sticks? And Odell Beckham can still move the sticks. But shout out to my man, Real Prince Castro. Fee 5-4. Hey, Prince Castro, man. Let me tell you something, man. And this is full transparency. When I first started my channel, Prince Castro said, "Big Dash." I had maybe 200 subscribers at the time. Maybe not even. He said, "Yo, in about 3 years, you're going to have 10K followers." Shout out to you. Thank you for breathing life in my channel. Never forgot that. Didn't tell you about that, but I appreciate that comment, man. And look where we at right now. Shout out to everybody making it possible. We're on the road to 12K, and it's all because of you guys. But shout out to my man Prince for breathing life, into this channel 3 years ago. 100%. Big Blue Reborn in the building. What's going on? How's everybody doing over there? My man Ethan, my man Milton, what's going on? How y'all doing tonight? I know, was it Milton probably working? Hopefully I'm helping you get through your shift, brother. I understand. All right, so let's switch it over to the defensive side. He said Gunnar used to fumble all the time early in his career. He got better at it. I was comfortable back there with Gunnar. New York State of Mind said Yankees 9-2. Shout out to the Yankees. About the ass against Boston. I love it. Shout out to Papa Joe in the building as well. We're gonna switch over to this defensive side though. Hold up. Real Prince Castro said the way I yelled at my stream when Berrios fumbled, get him that Friday. Listen, I was mad as hell too. But you know what I chalked that up to? You can't do that. First of all, you can't do it. You can't do that. You can't fumble. When guys are trying to make a team, him fighting for extra yards, that's not what you normally do. You don't normally be fighting for yards like that. And what happened? He got punched. Ball got punched. So it is what it is. Tyrell says, my guy Marsh trying to get a collab over at Chat Sports. He said he rocks with you, bro. Tell him to hit me up, man. Me and Marsh been going, we've been playing phone tag for two years almost now. And we keep saying it, but we got to do it, man. I'm gonna have to send him an invite. But shout out to Chat Sports. Shout out to Giants Now too. Hold on just a moment. Yeah, my son just texted me. He is a Yankees fan. He let me know what the score was too. All right, I'm gonna switch over to the defensive side. We're gonna get into this defense, man. All right, I told you guys I have 24 spots. That leaves a spot open at the end of this conversation, and we could talk about who we will possibly keep, what positional room, and all this other stuff, right? So, I made my graphic. I actually made my graphic last night, and I had to change my graphic once we signed, or once we traded for CJ Okoye. So, full transparency, I originally had Leki Fotu making the 53. As you can see, defensive tackles, I have 5 defensive tackles. I have DJ Reader, Shelby Harris, Darius Alexander, Bobby Jamison Travis, CJ Okoye. Now, the defensive line is definitely a positional group that I think is going to be live as an option on a waiver wire. I told you guys I'm looking at the Cincinnati Bengals to see who shakes loose there. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the Steelers too to see who shakes loose there because they're pretty deep at the defensive tackle spot. There's some other teams as well. There's Cole Brevard that I was high on coming out of college. He's only a run stuffer, but as soon as you get somebody like CJ Okoye, that pretty much removes Cole Brevard from my list after that. So for me, I don't think you guys got any arguments with the defensive tackle room. Let me know. Real Prince Castro with the $2 super chat says fastest growing New York Giants content powerhouse. Now I tell you 100%, man. You wrote that comment. Again, it was probably just under 200 subscribers. I don't know. You've been there since day one, so you know the comments, brother. And I just appreciate you saying that. At that point in time, I was like, this guy's crazy. This guy is crazy. The channel was trash. I was over there. I was not on camera. I was writing a little bit of scripts and stuff like. Listen, man, I appreciate that, man. More than you know. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. I do appreciate that. Ishmael, what's going on? He says, Big Dash, I'm keeping Darius Alexander. He's still raw, and Denard Wilson needs to use him more as a pass rusher instead of a run stopper. Okay. Thank you for saying that, because that's what I was saying. I had to come to the realization that my expectations of Darius Alexander is not what he is. He has shown us so far, and again, we got 1 year under Shane Bowen. This is his first year under Denard Wilson. We got 3 preseason games, and it's been a roller coaster. Some inconsistencies, and even Denard Wilson said it at the podium. He needs to be more consistent against the run, and we saw it all in the preseason. He said that before the preseason started, that he needed to be more consistent, and then you see it in the preseason. That's why he plays so many snaps, because they want to see what he can do. And to me, I'm curbing my enthusiasm. I'm tapering my expectations, and I'm seeing Darius Alexander as a rotational guy that comes in as a pass rushing defensive tackle. That's what he is right now to me. Jim Simpson says DT does look weak. There's a lot of question marks, and Harbaugh let everybody know that today, how he felt about the D tackle room by trading for CJ Okoye. He didn't even wait for him to, because he wasn't going to make the team. CJ Okoye was not going to make the Ravens. He was going to be out there. But I think they said, you know what? We got this extra pick in 2028. Let me go get somebody that has some upside. And that's what he did. But that also lets you know that he does not like that defensive tackle room behind DJ Reed or Shelby Harris. And again, we haven't seen DJ Reed or Shelby Harris all preseason long, unless you went to the practices. But for me, I'm just sitting here like, yeah, that's the defensive tackle room until Monday, probably, because Bobby Jamison Travis is not a lock, depending on who shakes loose when other teams cut down to 53. I want Bobby Jamison Travis. I think there's going to be a lot of upside, but he has to tap into that potential. And we saw just a couple of flashes here and there, but he's still giving up a little bit too much ground in the preseason to make you really feel comfortable about it. But I do have him making the 53. So I'll say that about Bobby Jamison Travis. I saw Stephen R. She read in my mind. He says Bengals don't need Chris Jenkins. We should get him. Listen, if Chris Jenkins gets waived, he better be picked up by the New York Giants. We have the 5th spot in the waiver in the waiver wire. So if Chris Jenkins is not a Bengal, he better be a New York Giant. That's one guy that I would say, you know what? Thank you, Bobby Jamison Travis. I appreciate you. We're going to try to sneak you on the practice squad, but we're going to have to let you go. And then I will go ahead and run and go get Chris Jenkins. He is absolutely on my list. You know what's funny? I was stalking some Bengals content creators, looking at their 53 predictions. And I saw some people say, yes, they got to keep Chris Jenkins, but they didn't really have an argument to why. They just wanted to keep him. And then I saw some people saying, it's just a numbers game. And we're going to have to make him available. We hope we can keep on, get him to the practice squad, but I think he won't make it past waivers. And I'm saying to these guys, I hope the Bengals do that, because the Giants need to snatch up Chris Jenkins if he is waived. He is absolutely what we need on this defensive line. He's Bobby Jamison Travis plus already. Respectfully. Bobby Jamison Travis, if you're watching, respectfully. You already know, though. Denard Wilson said it too. I'm not gonna hide behind it. Denard Wilson said it. You don't like Marsh, Blake? You don't like Marsh? Listen. Everybody's entitled to how they feel, man. I like Marsh. Like I said, it also depends on what you're looking for too, man. Everybody got their own role in this Giants content community. Born for Sports is in the building. He says, salute, Dash. I like your 53 man roster. Glad the Okoye acquisition gets trash Fotu out of here. I'm just hoping that Topu doesn't make it. Respectfully again. Because I didn't like how Josh Topu was playing, and he's still on the roster too. I thought he was going to be on those early cuts, but nope, he's still out there. Zach Pickens is another guy, flashed a little bit, but I think it's too little too late. We didn't even get a chance to see Anquan Barnes because he got hurt. So yeah, man, we got to figure that out. Big Chill says, I think we playing the preseason a little too conservative too, man. I wanted to see starters one more time. Yeah, just think about this, man. Dallas is the first time we're going to see Tremaine Edmonds. Now, a lot of people talk about DJ Reader and Shelby Harris. We haven't seen Tremaine Edmonds either. That's probably one of the players I'm most excited to see is Tremaine Edmonds next to Arvell Reese. We haven't seen that yet. JV says D-line will be in flux until the final 53 is set before Dallas. 100%. Dagamaza says 3 nose tackles and 2 DTs. Yeah. I'm curious to see how they end up doing it. Campbell over Nick Jones and Art Green. Well, Campbell is a safety anyway. Art Green and Nick Jones are both corners. Nick Jones is more of actually both Art Green and Nick Jones will do it all cornerbacks. But again, I left a spot open on purpose. Michael, I left the spot open on purpose. It was he said it was 315 subs. Thank you there you go. 315 subs at the time, man. Again, I appreciate it, man. I don't forget much, man. Especially things that mean a lot, man. And like I said, that comment meant a lot to me. Lake Ufotu was cut. Absolutely. Yes, he was. He was cut. He gone. He is gone. He says, not my cup of tea, Dash. I rock on this page. Now, I appreciate the love and support, man. Again, it's enough people that you can show your support to. I'm not going to tell you what to do, though. I'm happy that you're here. I appreciate your love and support here. I'm just saying how I feel about it, man. Again, this is the family reunion. Sometimes you can't pick your family, but at the end of the day, we rocking. True Baller says, did we see DJ Reader or Mooney? No. We saw Mooney in the first game. Didn't contribute. And then again, the Miami game, he was at his brother's wedding, and then they pretty much sat all the starters yesterday, so Mooney didn't play. DJ Reader, they said, man, the man 32 years old, he gonna play about 33% of the snaps. Let's not risk a damn thing. We know what he is. Big body, plugging holes. That's what DJ Reader is, and I understand that. I just would have liked to see him on the field. And then Shelby Harris, they've been keeping him in bubble wrap. He's the oldest person on the Giants. I think he's 36, defensive tackle. But I like his swag, and I like the way he talk trash, too. So I just wish I would have been able to see some of these guys. KC Legit, I see that comment. KC Legit. I see that. BX Universe says, what up, Dash? I just got here. What I missed? You missed damn near the whole show, brother. I ain't gonna hold you. You missed the whole damn thing. Now, we talking about the defense, man. We just got to the defensive tackles. You did miss everything on the offensive side, too, though. But we'll see how long this show goes. When it comes to the edge rushers, I got 4 edge rushers. I got Chauncey Golston in the edge room, even though he will be playing with his hand in the dirt. But when it comes to edge rushers, it's like it makes more sense to put him there because he's an edge rusher. He's going to play a little bit three technique, at times, especially when we go into that even front. We'll probably see Chauncey Golston out there. So I just put him in the edge room. Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. Now, a lot of people going to talk this Trace Ford stuff. I know it because they were talking about it earlier. Y'all going to talk about this Trace Ford stuff. So go ahead and let me know, man. Trace Ford had a fantastic game 3 of the preseason, and you guys want him on the squad. You want him on the squad. Man, Thinker says, are you a fan of the 3-4? I am a fan of the 3-4. Just think about this. The Giants were successful in 3-4 in the 80s. They were successful with the 4-3 in the 2000s. Both defenses got us Super Bowls. So I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of both. As far as our personnel goes, we have a 3-4 personnel. We don't have a 4-3 personnel. We don't have big enough edge rushers to be a 4-3 personnel. So right now it absolutely is a 3-4. You can throw a little bit of hybrid in there and get a 4-man front, but our base is 3-4. That's just the personnel that we have. Tyrell says, Trace Ford, brother. Yeah, I understand. Trace Ford did the same thing last year in preseason. Was out there showing out. And then remember Trace Ford, he left us for a little bit. I forget where he went, but he ended up coming back to the New York Giants in the offseason. And we signed him back to not the offseason, but he ended up coming back and we signed him back to the practice squad. But I like Trace Ford too, man. He is a undersized edge rusher, but the motor is undeniable. He's strong as hell. Got a knack for getting after the ball, getting after the quarterback as far as preseason goes. But yeah, no, I'm a fan. I just think it's a numbers game. Would I be surprised if they kept Trace Ford? No. But for me, as far as my prediction goes and how I got it listed, I don't have him making the 53. Ford is built tough. Built Ford tough. Yes, on Ford. Jim Simpson says, please hit the like button. Yeah, please hit the like button. We got over 300 people in the building. Make sure you get the like button. If it's 300 people in here, can I get 200 likes? Somebody let me know where we at with the likes. Let me know if it's 300 people in here. Actually, we over 300 people. Can I get 200 likes? Can we do that? That'd be fantastic. We can do that. It goes further than you know, for sure. Tyrone Tracy is our best running back. You got a lot. You trying to get into arguments right now. I like Tyrone Tracy a lot, man. When people were ready to put him in the doghouse, I was still out here trying to defend Tyrone Tracy. And guess what though? All the people that had him in the doghouse and stuff like that, when it got shaky yesterday, when Tyrone Tracy was down on that ground a little bit too long, I know a lot of y'all got worried. That lets you know how important his role is really on this team. Tyrone Tracy is more important than a lot of people give him credit for. And I think people realized that yesterday when he went down. I got into a little bit of argument with some people too, some Giant fans about it. I said, don't act like y'all care about Tracy now. I heard y'all talking for the past 2 weeks. Y'all told me he was trash for 2 weeks. And as soon as he goes down, it's like, get up, Tyrone. Get up. Like they knocked him out or something, man, in the ring. Get up, Tyrone Tracy. Air Force says, Dash, Tracy is becoming a liability. And even with that being said, he still is needed on this team. Thank you. That's 175. I appreciate it. I'll take it. 170. I appreciate it, man. All those 176 people, guess what? You got a nice warm spot in my heart. All 176 of y'all that hit the like button. I appreciate it. What's going on, Douglas? All right, so edge room. I don't see anybody commenting about the edge room. Some people said that Trace Ford deserved to have a spot on the team. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. All right, we're gonna move to the linebackers. I have us keeping 5 linebackers: Tremaine Edmonds, Arvell Reese, Micah McFadden, Jack Kelly, of course, the Viltrumite, and I got Zaire Barnes making the 53. And I actually had Zaire Barnes making the 53 before he got that interception yesterday. I do like Zaire Barnes more than Darius Muasau. I think the Muasau show is over, respectfully. Again, you guys hit tonight. I did not hit the hey button at all. Again, I respect these players and what they go through, trying to make the team. So I'm gonna be respectful. Now next week is no holds bars. The hey button will come back out. for certain players or whatever. But for today, it's a lot of players around the league that are gonna, miss out on their dreams being fulfilled. So I want to keep that in mind and be, a little bit sensitive to that. But Zaire Barnes, I got Zaire Barnes making the 53 mainly because of special teams, and also last year he did pretty good too when we needed him in the pinch. I don't think he's going to play much outside of special teams, but for me, I think he did more than what Darius Muasau did even last year. So Tremaine Edmonds, Arvell Reese, Micah McFadden, Jack Kelly, Zaire Barnes making the initial 53 at inside linebacker. Now, let's go to cornerback. And I saw some people mentioning Nick Jones and Art Green. And I told you guys before, right? Let's try to listen. I see somebody said 355 watching, 185 likes. If you guys can get me 15 more likes, get it to 200, I'm not going to say anything else about it. I won't say anything else about it. Get 15 more people. I need 15 more people. 15 more likes. Get me to 200. That'll set a record for this show. I've never had more. Well, I've never hit 200 likes in the show. So if you guys, well, not while we're actually live still. So you know what? I want to hit that. I want to hit that record. I'm gonna be a little bit, be a little bit selfish, a little bit prideful. Let me get 15 more likes, man, and I love it. So when it comes to cornerback, I got Greg Newsome, Tay Banks, Paulson Adebo, Drew Phillips, Colton Hood, right? And some people say, well, why do I only have 5 cornerbacks? Because I believe our Darius Washington can give you some nickel snaps. He can fill in for Drew Phillips. So that's why I only have 5 cornerbacks listed. Now, again, I'm one player short, and I understand that, and we got, we can talk about some things. But Colton Hood, again, for me, I'll be lying if I didn't say I was disappointed. I was disappointed in what Colton Hood did in the preseason. I understand he's a rookie, but we did draft him second over, in the second round. I expected a little bit more from Colton Hood, a little bit more consistency. But again, he is a rookie. He is learning, and I have to understand that. So I think highly of Colton Hood, but as far as the preseason goes, I think it's a little bit of a letdown. Thank you for letting me know hit 200. Now I appreciate the love and support, man. We hit a new record, 200 likes during the live. Thank you for the love and support, man. Now we can leave people alone, everybody. We can leave them alone. I appreciate that. Drew Phillips is Drew Phillips. I'm curious to see, how they play him. If they close to the line of scrimmage is one thing. That's a fact, Tyrone. I appreciate it. Got your wish 200 plus. Now I appreciate it. JJ the King says Tracy is not a liability. He just needs to get his act together because the next game is the real deal. Plus Tracy is important to this offense, but he's not better than Scatterboo. Let's keep it real. I understand who you were talking to. Thunder said, nah, I get 300. I'm gonna leave it alone right now. If we get 300, cool. We got about 15 minutes left in the show. So what was that? Yeah, Drew Phillips. So for Drew Phillips, for me, playing close to the line of scrimmage, I still believe that he's a liability, 15 yards and beyond. You know what's crazy? I put out that short this week, right? About Drew Phillips, right? And I was talking about I said all this good stuff about Drew Phillips. I said one thing about him being, possible liability, beyond 15 yards. And some people was arguing with me, man, about it. I'm like, don't argue with me. Argue with the tape. You've seen it before. Well, he had 2 interceptions. I understand, but did you see those 2 interceptions? And again, I don't want to talk down on Drew Phillips. I think Drew Phillips is fantastic. He's needed on this team. But I'm gonna call a spade a spade. It's a little bit of a liability beyond 15 yards, and he knows that. But I like Drew Phillips. Now the biggest question mark for me is Paulson Adebo, and what he looks like. What does Paulson Adebo look like this year? Again, he lost his spot. He lost his starting role to Tay Banks. Greg Newsome came in here. He didn't look back. And these guys look good in the preseason. Now, what we look like versus Dallas, that'll let us know everything we need to know. I think as much of a strong preseason and summer that Tay Banks had, I think he has a short leash on him. I think Greg Newsome has a short leash on him, because you do still have Poston Adebo making all this money at the end of the day. So with Tay Banks, if we get into Dallas and Tay Banks are struggling, I don't think they hesitate putting Poston Adebo in there. Same thing goes for Greg Newsome. If Greg Newsome is struggling a bit, I don't think they hesitate putting Poston Adebo in there. And for me, I'm happy with that. It's a meritocracy is what they said, right? So if you're not playing well enough, they're going to find a replacement for you. But I tell you what, Greg Newsome and Tay Banks, they got their hands full with Dallas week 1. We going to know everything we need to know in one game. I'm curious to see how the matchup goes. I'm assuming it's going to be Tay Banks on George Pickens and Greg Newsome on CeeDee Lamb. Like, just thinking about it. Just thinking about that makes me say, damn, I need our edge rushers to get to Dak Prescott fast. Because I don't know if Tay Banks is playing with George Pickens. And Greg Newsome against CeeDee Lamb, I don't know about that. So what I'm banking on is that Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau get there, and they get there fast. Send Drew Phillips on the corner blitz. They better get there fast. That's what I'm hoping on. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm praying for too. Is that? But we're gonna find out very, very early. And then you turn around the next week, you got Puka Nacua, because I don't think he's getting suspended, regardless of the off the field stuff that's happening. But that Dallas game with Dak Prescott, and this is gonna be the last. I give credit what credit's due. Dak Prescott is good against the blitz, but we got to get home, man. And those offensive tackles for the Dallas Cowboys are suspect. And there's no reason. If you telling me Abdul Carter can beat Andrew Thomas in practice, Tyler Guyton is barbecue chicken. Terrence Steele is barbecue chicken. Broderick Jones is barbecue chicken. I don't care who they put on the outside. They not blocking Burns. They not blocking Abdul Carter, or they shouldn't be able to do that. They better have tight ends chipping. They better have running backs chipping, because if they don't, it's going to be a party at the quarterback. And if we can get some push up the middle with the DJ Reed and the tackles, and you can close in on Dak, I like our chances. But they Dallas got damn weapons though. They got weapons. So that's his cornerback room. I'm gonna talk about the DBs. So let me know. So Art Green, Nick Jones. I saw both of those names come up in the chat. Do you guys agree with the cornerback room, or do you think Nick Jones or Art Green make the 53? We keep 6 cornerbacks instead of 5. Let me know in the comment section. How many cornerbacks are you keeping? 5 or are you keeping 6? Let me know. NY Giants says Evan Neal will make the roster. We'll see what happens, but we'll find out tomorrow. Less than 24 hours away. Kazan says more worried that our offense hasn't spent much game time together. That worries me too. But I think we're going to put a lot of emphasis on the run game and then work the pass off of that. Is it 1K? 1K Yaz says Art Green definitely for special teams. I can see that too, man. Capping Guy says we keeping 6. I can see that. That's why I left it blank, rather than just to throw another player name in there. But Nick Jones, Art Green, I did think about both of those guys. I just left it off because I said, let me talk to my family about, this spot on defense. Let's see. Art Green. Ishmael says Arvell Reese and Tremaine Edmonds will have a great game against the Cowboys. I think so too. They're going to clean a lot of those things up. And you know what's crazy? Because that's all I've been hearing from Cowboy fans too. Oh, we got Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue is fast. I ain't worried about that. He said, wasn't man Hurts named the captain? We keep saying this, man. He was a part of the leadership team, not necessarily a captain. We'll find out. They probably named the captains by like Wednesday, Thursday. They probably dropped the captains list. I want to know when we're wearing our legacy jerseys. That's what I want to know. When are we dropping the jersey schedule? Hopefully week 1 we have the legacy jerseys. I want to play Dallas in the legacy jerseys. I'm sorry. That's what I want to see. Kazan says, I agree with you. CB Theory Dash Washington acts as the 6th cornerback. Absolutely. And that's why I put 5 there. So let's talk about the safeties. Let's talk about the safeties. What you mean by week 7? Week 7, what? The legacy jerseys to week 7? I gotta wait 7 weeks for the legacy for Giants on the helmet. I gotta wait 7 weeks for that. What's that? That's the Texans game. Week 7 is the Texans, right? I think it's the Texans because we got the bye week 8, and then we come back and play Philly, right? You got some New Jersey concepts? Let me know. Oh, you just saying stuff. All right, I'm about to say you got the information. Let me know. Let me know. How come the Giants never wear blue paint? That's $1 million question, man. I think the main reasons why they don't want to look too much like the Buffalo Bills. That's the only thing that I can think of. That's it. All right, let's get to these safeties, man. And I appreciate shout out to Big Lou Reborn with the 250 jewels. Appreciate the love and support as always. You already know what it is. Getting to the DBs. Jevon Holland, who we have not seen. Let me say that. Shout out to my man TP Way. I don't know if he was in here earlier today. I didn't see him. But we had this conversation on his show. Why the hell didn't Jevon Holland play at all in the preseason? Somebody with a good answer. Please answer that for me. Why the hell didn't Jevon Holland play at all? Because last time I checked, Jevon Holland did not have a strong enough season last year that warranted him not having to play in the preseason. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I needed to see Jevon Holland out there. I saw good communication from Tyler Nubin and Jason Pinnock and Ardarius Washington and Tyler Nubin and Jason Pinnock. I saw good communication between those guys. Why the hell did Jevon Holland not play? He was healthy. Why didn't he play? Like, come on. Blake says Nubin looking good, Dash. He actually did look good. He looked fast too, and it looked like he wasn't second guessing himself. And that was probably one of the best things I've seen this summer is Tyler Nubin looking like he got some of his confidence back. And the confidence Tyler Nubin, if he can have the same confidence that he had in college, then he turns into what we've been waiting for. And that's one thing. Like Denard, listen, if Denard Wilson can fix Tay Banks and Tyler Nubin in the same year, get that man a Nobel Peace Prize. Get him the defensive coordinator of the year. I don't even think that exists. We should have a defensive coordinator of the year award and offensive coordinator of the year award. I think so. If guys can get head coach of the year, but if Denard Wilson can fix Nubin and fix Tay Banks in the same offseason, the man deserves a trophy for that. A trophy. And the way Tyler Nubin, like we saw Tyler Nubin jump on the ball in preseason. He was jumping routes. He might have got there a little bit too early the first time he did it. Didn't get called for the pass interference, but I'm just saying, to see him jump a route, that takes me back to his time at Minnesota. I'm happy to see that. Now I just got to see that in the real game. Imagine if he jumps a route against Dak, like a deep crossing route or something like that, and he jumps Dak, gets an interception, takes it to the house, man. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go absolutely crazy. Big Blue Reborn says apparently he about to be a captain too. Who, Nubin or are you talking about Manhurts again? Who you talking about? Let me know. He said new awards. Yeah, new awards, man. He would definitely need an award if he fixed Tay Banks and Tyler Nubin. Go ahead, sign him up again. I need an extension if he does that. Kazins has bold prediction. Alexander gets cut as soon as we sign another run stuffer off the wire. He's like third or fourth string. Man, we getting a little crazy now, man. We getting a little bit out of hand, man. We getting a little bit out of hand. I would be surprised. That would be a bold prediction. You said bold prediction. That's a bold prediction. I think Darius Alexander is safe. I think he is safe. Again, he's just not who we thought he was, but he definitely has a role on this team. Captain God says Banks is a press coverage guy. Listen, if he fixes, I don't care what Banks is. And yes, you're absolutely right. He is a press coverage guy. If Banks is fixed and Tyler Nubin is fixed, that man deserves a trophy. I'll make the trophy myself. I'll send it to 1925 Giants. I'll send it myself. It might get returned to center. I don't care. But I'll send that man a trophy if he fixed Tay Banks and Talanoa, because right now it's looking like it's moving in that direction. Ishmael says, Big Dash, the only thing I could think of why Javon Holland didn't play this preseason is because Denard Wilson has a special plan for him too. That makes sense. But he could have played a vanilla defense, just out there to get the communication and stuff like that. He could have had a couple of plays. Now, I do believe this point that you're making is whatever we seen in the preseason, that's just not even scratching the surface of what Denard Wilson got planned for this defense. Like, I mean, it's going to be a show Sunday night, and I need that. And also, man, first play of the game against Dallas for our defense, I'm gonna call it right now. Definitely gonna be a corner blitz. It's gonna be a corner blitz. It's gonna be Drew Phillips. It's definitely gonna be a corner blitz. I think that's definitely gonna happen. Our first play on defense against the Dallas Cowboys, corner blitz. Unless they go out there with 3 wide or 4 wide, I'm gonna see a corner blitz. I think that's gonna happen. Corky, what's going on, Corky? He says the whole defensive backfield looks like brand new. It does. So our Darius Washington, I put Elijah Campbell because I think they like him a lot as special teams. But that rounds out my roster prediction. Again, I had 25 on offense, 3 special teams, 24 on defense, which leaves one roster spot. If you guys want to say, again, I didn't have Neal making the 53. I don't have Trace Ford making the 53. I don't have Art Green or Nick Jones making the 53. I got us only keeping 6 wide receivers. I don't have Cambry making the 53. I don't have Gibson making the 53. Let me know. If there's one player that you don't think is going to make the 53, but you want them on the 53, let me know in the comment section. Let me know. Big Chill says Reese gets a pick in the Dallas game. That'd be fantastic too. Imagine that you send Drew Phillips on the corner blitz. You know what I mean? He deflects a pass, it goes right to Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese down the sideline. Yeah, sign me up for that. It might even be Tremaine Edmonds, because he's known to get an interception or two too. Trace Ford. I see Trace Ford. I see. It's Cambry for me. PW Cho says it's Cambry. Okay. Stanley says, what's going on, Stanley? Frederick, what's going on? He says, that's why I think the Giants will have Evan Neal on the roster, because he's a big body who can blast holes in the run game. Pause. Absolutely. Again, if we did keep Evan Neal, I don't think he sees the field though. And if he does see the field, we're in trouble. Even if he is improved. But yeah, no, I'm not mad at that. And again, I only have 9 offensive linemen, so I can see the Giants going 10. I don't know what Harbaugh normally does, but I think there's enough versatility with 4 backups that we don't have to go 10 offensive linemen. Because you got guys that can play guard and tackle. You got guys that can play both sides as far as tackle goes with Bo and J.C. Davis. And then, like I said, Hudson can be a guard and a center. Lucas Patrick can be a guard and a center. But if you want an extra guard, Stenny, Evan Neal are probably the 2 names I would throw in the ring as guys that might make the 53 if we keep 10 offensive linemen. But to your point too, though, Harbaugh likes size. And if anything, Evan Neal is that, a big body offensive lineman. Vaporizer says Dak about to see ghosts on Sunday night. Denard Wilson going to confuse Dak, and Dak will have 2 interceptions, 4 sacks, 1 fumble, and the Giants come out strong. Let's effing go. Might have been TP's show. I said this. I got the New York Giants getting 6 sacks on Dak Prescott on Sunday Night Football, and I got Abdul Carter having a 3-sack night. I think Abdul Carter is going to lead the team in sacks, if not the league. I mean, it's going to be hard to say that because the Rams and Myles Garrett, that's a different type of animal. But I think that Abdul Carter is definitely going to be the sack leader for the New York Giants as long as he stays healthy. I don't think that Brian Burns is going to be too far behind him. But I think Abdul Carter's coming out party is going to happen very early in the season. And I would love for him to have like 3 sacks against Dallas. And guess what? If that happens, everybody's going to love the New York Giants. I'm going to hate that because I like to be the underdog, but it would be warranted. It would be warranted. Blake says Giants front four need to win battles and get sacks even without the blitz. However, I love the blitz. I'm just saying the corner blitz on the first play. I can see that happening. Drew Phillips is, and it's funny enough to say this about a cornerback. Drew Phillips can set a tone to a game early. He can set a tone. That guy is a corner, a linebacker in a cornerback's body, and he ain't afraid to hit people, and he knows how to tackle. He's a little bit crazy too. You need that in your cornerback. But I like the cornerback blitz on the first play for defense, as long as it ain't an obvious, 4 wide receiver set or something stupid like that. Then of course you don't want to do that. Drew Blitz. Yeah, that can be his nickname, Drew Blitz. Dagamaz is Carter with 3 sacks with Pat. Yeah, it would be. I got 6 sacks. Listen, when I tell you guys, hold on, let me go ahead and get back to the regular size screen. Let me go ahead and remove this because I'm done with the graphic. Let me go back and go here. And then we've hit that part of it. We're going to hit the 2-hour mark of the show. And you know what happens after the 2-hour mark of the show? I still got a little bit of energy left in me, so we're going to go a little bit longer. Right? a little bit longer. Not too crazy. 6 sacks versus Dallas is what I'm thinking. And the reason why I think that is, when I tell you guys that the 2 offensive tackles for the Dallas Cowboys are trash, I mean it. Suspect. And then just think about this. The Dallas Cowboys, the starters were Tyler Guyton, and on the side it was Terrence Steele. They drafted Drew Shelton out of Penn State. So you telling me those guys not good enough? They went ahead and go and trade for Broderick Jones. Now, anybody that has been watching Broderick Jones with the Pittsburgh Steelers knows that he can't keep a job either. But they gave up valuable draft capital for him. And he's trash too. That's barbecue chicken. It's food for the edge rushers. There's no excuse for Brian Burns. There's no excuse for Abdul Carter. They should be able to beat up on Tyler Guyton. They should be able to beat up on Terrence Steele. There's no excuses. I don't care if they sub in Broderick Jones. He's food too. I don't care if they put in Drew Shelton. They do not have an answer for the pass rush for the Giants. They don't. They don't have an answer for the pass rush. The best thing the Dallas Cowboys can do is be successful running the ball, and that's where the game lies, in the trenches. Between the tackles. That's where the problem lies. Anything outside of the tackles where the edge rushers live, I'm not worried about that at all. What DJ Reader and Shelby Harris and all these other guys that are playing the A gap and the B gap, what they do is probably going to be the most important to us beating the Dallas Cowboys. Because if the Dallas Cowboys cannot run the game, if we shut down their running game and we get them in 3rd and longs, and then after that they're letting the dogs loose. You're gonna see third downs on Arvell Reese and blitz packages coming off the edge. You're gonna see all this type of wizardry. That's what's gonna happen. They don't have an answer. Similar to like we don't really have an answer to CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, but I do have an answer to CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Dak Prescott can't throw the ball if he's laying on his back. That's my answer to everything. They tell Dak Prescott is good against. He can't throw the ball from his back. I've never seen that done in the NFL. I've never seen a quarterback throw the ball from his back. It's impossible. It's impossible to do that. I can't wait for this game, man. I can't wait for this game, man. It's to the point that I've been keeping quiet. You guys know me. I keep quiet. I keep it respectful at the end of the day. But the main reason why I don't talk crazy is because we haven't been good enough. I'm going to tell you guys right now. If we go out there and beat the Cowboys, it's oh boy. Somebody going to have to come get me, man. Somebody going to have to come get me because I'm jumping all over everybody. And guess what? I want to. I want to jump over everybody. I want to be on everybody's neck. I want to step on everybody's back. As a Giants fan, that's what I've been waiting for over a decade, is to step on somebody's back, especially starting with the division. And if we go get the Dallas Cowboys week 1, I'm stepping all over everybody's back. I don't care whose live it is. I don't care if it's the Dallas coalition. I don't care if it's the Commander Kings. I don't care if it's any, and I respect all of those channels and I respect all of those content creators, but I can't forget how these people was talking. I can't forget how Commander fans were talking 2 years ago. I had somebody tell me, "Oh, how you guys feel being in the basement?" Coming from a Commander fan. And guess what happened last year for the Commanders? They fell their asses right back in the basement too. And what's the first thing I did? I found them on Twitter and I said, "Hey, welcome back to the basement." That's what I did. And so, because I don't forget anything. I see everything. When they talk, sometimes I just don't respond to it because I know I don't have a leg to stand on. But I'm telling you guys right now, I'm in the car. What they say, Boys in the Hood, for the people that watch Boys in the Hood, I know you're like, ain't no getting out of the car. If I'm Doe, I'm not letting Trey out. What Trey said, let me out, Doe. No, if once you in the car, you in the car. I'm telling everybody right now, this is the time to be in. I don't want no half stepping. And listen to me. Listen to me. I understand if you have uncertainty with this team. I understand that you want to, for some people, you got to see it to believe it. I'm telling you right now that time is over. The season is starting. The season is started. You either in the car, you're not in the car. That's all I got to say. And if you're watching this live, I'm going to assume that you are in the car and it's full steam ahead 100%. It's all gas, no brakes. And I need people with that same type of energy rocking with me until we can't do it anymore. They're going to have to shut me up. That's it. They don't want me to talk crazy. They got to shut me up. Right now, everybody is 0-0. That's all I got to say, man. I can't wait. Listen, I swear to you guys, man. I swear to you guys. Don't let us be good, man. Don't let us be good, because the cape, I'm putting the cape on if that happens. My man John says, "Oh, I'm in the car." We in the car. We in the car for sure. We looking for him, because listen, we owe some payback, man. Shout out to my man Jonathan Pride in the building. We in the car, man. We in the car. They gonna have to come get me and shut me up. I'm telling you right now. Listen, I already took the day off after the Dallas game. I took the day off already. I put in my PTO for after the Dallas game. Sunday night, I'm not working Monday morning. I'm sorry. I put my PTO in months ago. I plan on having a celebration after the game. That's where I'm at. I don't care. People can clip this up all they want. I don't care. I've fallen on my face before, but I'm not going to sit here and hold back. We got a new coach. We got a new vibe. We got a new defense. We got a new offense. We got skilled players. Damn it, we got OBJ back. And if you ain't hyped about that, I can't help you. I can't help you, man. But we going to get out of here, man. We going to get out. I'm going to leave it at that. We going to get out of here, man. Shout out to the 300 people still in the building. Listen, get in the car. That's all I got to tell you. Get in the car. I don't care if it's a Monte Carlo. I don't care if it's a putt-putt. I don't care if it's a truck. Get in the car. Find somebody. Load up. It's time to ride, man. There's no more talking after this. But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. And again, shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate the likes, appreciate the support as always, man. I'm trying to figure out what the show setup's going to be. Obviously, I've been putting out content like crazy. But when it comes to the season, obviously, we got the live on Saturday. We will be doing a preview of the game live too. Most likely that's going to be every Wednesday. So we're going to be live on Wednesdays. and Saturdays before the games, outside of opening week, because I will be watching that game myself, opening week. But after that, we're gonna have our lives on Wednesdays. As long as there's no football games on Wednesday, I'm gonna go live. But I appreciate the love and support, man. I want to thank everybody for joining the Giants family reunion, late night Giants talk. You know how we do here. And yeah, it's no more talking. Preseason is over. Now it's about real things, and hopefully everybody is in the car. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.